What's up, music fans of the internet? I am Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, the only reviews with two different views. And this week we're talking about the new album by Chairlift called Moth. And we're asking the big question, can pop music be erratic and easy listening at the same time? So cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
This is the third album for the synth-pop duo of Caroline Polachek and Patrick Wimberly. They are originally from Boulder, but they've been based in Brooklyn for a while now. And Polachek explained the name of this album as a metaphor for vulnerability, for something that's fragile but relentless at the same time. And they said that it's inspired by their experience of living in New York. I think it also sounds pretty inspired by love, but we'll talk more about that. Derek, what do you think it sounds like?
Kevin, I think Moth sounds like the psychedelic pop of Polica and MGMT mixed with a volume level 7 Sleigh Bells.
I think this sounds like Imogen Heap and Gorillaz leading a workout class. Let's talk about some highlights from the album. Derek, what did you like?
One highlight for me right off the bat was just the great track titles. For example, Polymorphing, Ch-Ching, and Ottawa to Osaka. Another highlight for me were the horns, especially saxophone. I thought it added a very unique element to their overall sound. And this came through on tracks such as Look Up, Polymorphing, and again, Ch-Ching.
In addition to their titles, I also really enjoyed the tracks Polymorphing and Ch-Ching. Also Moth to the Flame. Overall, I think they fused pop and hip hop and sound effects really, really well. Even a song like Crying in Public, which really sort of slows it down, they still did a really nice fusion there. The clattery beats and the sort of multi-movement tracks, as you mentioned, horns come in sometimes, Derek. Some tracks feel almost like a mini symphony. I also thought she uses her voice almost like an instrument that really holds its own against this plethora of studio instruments and effects. What about lowlights? What do you have, Derek?
Kevin, one low light to me was Ottawa to Osaka. Although I liked the track title, it made me wonder via Vancouver. A little slow overall. Another low light for me was, this is strictly lyrically. In Ch-Ching, she says, open your mouth and I'll slip you the key. Now crack that combination like 27, 99, 23. I'm sorry, but that's just bad data security.
I really couldn't find any lowlights. If I had to pick one, I think the lyrical themes, they're all about love. It didn't seem like a whole lot of variety. And occasionally they tapped into clichés, particularly like on Moth to a Flame. But I thought they still come at it from an interesting angle and take it to an interesting place. Like almost they took the cliche as a challenge to see if they could do something different with it. And I think they did a pretty good job. So it's hard for me to fault them for that. That brings us to overall rating and answering the big question. What do you say, Derek?
I'm going to start with the big question. Can pop music be erratic and easy listening at the same time? I think emphatically, yes, they demonstrate that here. A few songs in particular really jumped out to me that really reflected that. Romeo, Ch-Ching is also erratically delectable. Even Crying in Public, one of the more easy listening-ish songs, both some guitar and synth flourishes that may unsettle some in the lobby of the dentist's office.
Another reason to cry in public is if you're at the dentist's office.
There you go, yeah.
Not just in love.
Bad things, I think there were some of the erraticness or imagination present early on the album seemed to fade as it went on. For example, Unfinished Business, I was ready for closure about 2 minutes in. I just thought they maybe could have done more in some parts of that one. So that being said, I think there's a lot of really good things going on here. I think Chairlift is really an interesting band, and Moth is a good listen. So I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
I'll agree and disagree. Can pop music be erratic and easy listening at the same time? I think very, very rarely. But here, absolutely. I think for all its indie edge, there's still plenty of smooth pop here. I think this album is going to bring a lot of people together who don't normally like the same types of music. There's also this blend of hopeless romanticism, but also with some awkward realism, you know, that keeps it, instead of getting too cheesy, kind of keeps it real and believable. Overall rating, I'm going big. I really, really like this one. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. There you have it. Derek gives it a 3. I give it a 5. That makes an 8 out of 10 combined. Definitely check out Moth by Chairlift and let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album, the only reviews with 2 different views. Thanks for watching or listening. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.